can all now be seated. My name is James McCann. For the past year, I've served as the Student Council President of Bexley High School, and I'm honored to welcome you all today. I would like to express my gratitude to everyone sitting up on this stage who supported me here, and I'd also like to give a warm welcome to Dr. Fine, Principal Dr. Robbins, Assistant Principal Dr. McMillan, Dwight Carter, Director of Student Support Systems at Eastland Fairfield, Board of Education President Alicia Mitchell, Board of Education members, friends, family, alumni, community members, teachers, and of course my fellow members of the class of 23. Before we begin, there are some big thank yous to extend. The class of 23 would like to thank the Bexley Education Foundation for welcoming us into the alumni family today. We would also like to thank these generous sponsors for lining Main Street with our beautiful faces on our senior banners. The City of Bexley for hanging them, the Top Steakhouse for funding, and a special shout out to Mrs. Amy Brown for organizing the entire enterprise. If you would now please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America, which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you please remain standing for the national anthem, played by our wonderful symphonic band, led by Mr. Andy Johnson. I would now like to welcome Superintendent Dr. Fine to the lectern.
Thank you, James. Good morning and congratulations to the class of 2023. We are all very proud of you and all that you have accomplished during your time here at Bexley City Schools. Thank you for inspiring all of us, your teachers, the school staff, the Board of Education, and your classmates each and every day. From displaying academic excellence in your classrooms, to your dedication to serving your community, to your amazing performances, to your incredible creations in the visual arts, and your thrilling work in the athletic arena. This class has truly embodied what it means to be a champion. In honor of Memorial Day, I ask anyone in attendance who is able and who served our country to please stand. As the son of a Vietnam veteran, we thank you for your incredible, grateful, and selfless service to our country. I also want to recognize one very special graduate who is committed to serving our country after graduation. Michaela Williams will be attending the United States Naval Academy. Michaela, will you please stand and be recognized for your commitment to serving our country? Graduates, I speak on behalf of all of the parents and guardians, friends, staff, neighbors, Board of Education, and community members, hear when I say, please never doubt how much we believe in you, and most importantly, how much we love you. We are so grateful for the honor to have watched you become the amazing young adults that you are. We will always be here for you, and we are so excited to see the great things that lie ahead of you. Best wishes to each of you, and as always, go Lions. I would like to now welcome back a fantastic student to the podium, Mr. James McCann.
I would like to introduce the first of our student speakers, who's not only a bright student, but a talented piano player, Zoe Wright.
Hello everyone, thank you for being here with me this morning. Do you know who you are? In October of 2019, these 6 words started appearing on billboards, posters, and signs in cities like LA and New York City. And if you're thinking this sounds familiar, I am starting and basing this speech off of a Harry Styles lyric, which I'm sure is very surprising. In his song, Lights Up, he writes, "Lights up and they know who you are, do you know who you are?" I've actually had this speech planned out since about 2019 or 2020. When these signs started appearing and this song came out, I was immediately hooked by the question, do you know who you are? I thought about it a lot, and at one point I actually thought I could definitely give this in a speech at graduation, and there's probably a very bad draft of it in my notes app or on my Google Drive, but I spared myself the pain of digging that out. It's a difficult thing to know who you are. I know who I am in some ways, but to definitively define yourself is something some of us may never be able to do. When someone asks me who I am, my first instinct is that I'm a musician, a pianist, a violist, a mediocre guitarist. I am an actor, an improviser, a journalist. I'm a daughter, a sister, a friend. But is this even the right answer? Maybe the answer is that I'm funny, always joking when I shouldn't be, or that I'm caring and friendly, I hope. Perhaps who we are is not necessarily tangible or cannot be defined. The only way to express who you are might just be to show people through actions and behavior versus listing out adjectives. Our identities aren't necessarily known to each other. A lot of you here today know me, have known me for years. However, some of you don't, and similarly, I don't know all of you. Maybe to you, I'm still the girl who really liked One Direction in elementary school, still do, or the girl that plays that violin in the orchestra. It's a viola. Even if we don't all know each other, our knowledge of ourselves is far more important. If the question, do you know who you are, seems intense to you, that's understandable, and like I said, we might not ever be able to answer that. However, at the end of the day, no one knows you better than, you guessed it, you. You have the choice and power to change who you are if you're not satisfied with it. You have the ability to show others how you identify. You decide. Regardless who of any of us are or how we identify, Bexley will always be a part of us. Whether we're headed off to Ohio State 15 minutes away or the West Coast, Bexley will forever be our hometown. Living here my whole life has definitely played into who I am, and even if you don't think it has, it might just not have set in yet. For some of us, our time living in Bexley and attending Bexley High School might have given us an answer to the question, do you know who you are? If we're not quite sure yet, that's fine too. We will go off to college or the workforce, and maybe this is when we will find an answer to that question. Because a lot of us have lived here our whole lives, surrounded by a lot of the same people we went to kindergarten with, who we are is likely to change when we find ourselves in a new environment. Some of us will be going to schools with a 1,600-acre campus and 60,000 students, which seemingly couldn't be more different than Bexley. Everything we have known for 18 years of our lives, or however long we've lived here, will change. A new environment, new people, and new expectations. A lot of us will adapt once we leave Bexley and change, whether that's your personality, hobbies, or how you identify. As we move into the next stage of our lives, our education, we have a choice. Will we carry Bexley High School with us? Some of us may decide to redefine ourselves in college or after high school. We may try to leave behind a reputation here and find an answer to the question, who are you, in a new way, in a new place, where no one knows Bexley you. However, I urge you to all at least carry Bexley with you, even if you leave the old you behind. Bexley, at its heart, is a community. Take this sense of community with you wherever you go. Create your own communities, find one where you belong. Although Taylor Swift writes, "I don't want to grow up, wish I'd never grown up, I could still be little," she also writes, "These things will change." We inevitably grew up and things inevitably changed. I'm sure we still have some growing up to do, and of course, plenty of change is coming our way and probably won't ever stop coming. Embrace the change, appreciate growing up. Take the moment and taste it. One day, these 4 years, this day, will just be memories. This is the last Taylor Swift reference, I promise. Hold on to the memories, they will hold on to you. I'd like to finish by reciting the end of a poem I came across on TikTok. In 2 months, I leave for university none of my friends are attending. But tonight, sorry guys, this is a sad poem. Okay. But tonight, I'll sear the sound of laughter into my mind and hold on to them a little longer. I urge you all to do this. Sorry guys. Savor our last summer here. Stay up late, sleep in late, take walks with your friends. After all, everything changes after this. You have the power to do what you want with your life. Do something you'll be proud of. I wish you all the best as you embark in this new chapter in your life. Thank you to everyone who has helped me get here today, and to everyone who has helped me answer the question, do you know who you are? Congratulations and good luck. See you in 10 years. I would now like to introduce the persons whose senior banner I pass every time I'd like to leave my house, a soccer and statistics superstar, James McCann.
Esteemed faculty, honored guests, and my fellow graduates of the class of 23, today is a momentous day, a day that marks the culmination of our hard work, determination, and the fun we've had along the way. It is a great privilege for me to stand before you as your class speaker, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to address you all today. It feels like yesterday when I first arrived here in Bexley as a young third grader from Ireland. With initial trepidations about my new surroundings, I quickly found how special this community could be. See, Bexley School Districts has been so much more than just the schools, buildings, and institutions where I've acquired knowledge. It has been an environment where my mind has blossomed and where I've created lifelong relationships. My experience at Bexley has taught me that learning does not have to be strictly transactional. And my experience here has also taught me that it is also sometimes important to cherish those relationships you make throughout the learning process itself. And in preparation for this speech, I went back through my last 10 years and categorized the relationships I had made into family, classmates, and teachers. To those of you sitting in the audience who have helped us get here today and walk across this stage and receive our diploma, we as a class would like to thank you. We'd like to thank you for the late nights at games here at the Carlton Smith Field, the long shows and concerts at the Schottenstein Theater, the homework help, the late nights, the rides to and from school. We simply could not have done it without your often unrecognized support and commitment to our learning and success. To my fellow classmates, my time as a member of this class has taught me that there can oftentimes be up to 20 teachers in a classroom alone. Learning at this school has been a reciprocal relationship, and I am grateful for all the questions, interests, and ideas you've brought to the classroom. Finally, to our teachers, we cannot thank you enough for your unwavering support to our learning. You've been our guides through the years, imparting wisdom, ensuring that we have had every opportunity to develop and grow into the individuals we are today. Your impact extends beyond the classroom walls and will be held with us as we venture into the world outside of these hallways. Each of you has played an integral role in shaping our lives, from patiently answering endless questions to celebrating every milestone with us. We are incredibly fortunate to have had your guidance at this crucial juncture in our lives. And although we may not realize it in the moment, we are thankful. We are thankful for reading iambic pentameter in English class. We are thankful for learning the quadratic formula in math, memorizing the periodic table in chemistry, the required office hours on those early, dark mornings during the winter, the Canvas board, the canvas discussion boards during COVID, and of course the pink tardy slips each and every morning. So let's take a moment to thank them. Thank you for prioritizing our futures, caring for us both emotionally and intellectually, and helping us become well-rounded citizens of this world. 10 years in Bexley has taught me an important lesson. It is not always about what you learn, but who you learn with and who you learn from. And I was lucky to learn with all of you and from all of you. As we stand on the brink of adulthood, ready to make our mark on society, let us carry with us the spirit of Bexley High School, one of determination, hard work, resilience, and empathy. Congratulations to the class of 23, and thank you to everyone who helped us get here. I would now like to introduce our keynote speaker. Taylor Harris is an illustrious alum of Bexley High School, class of 2001. After graduating from Bexley, she studied at the University of Virginia on a full scholarship, where on a trolley, she met an amazing man named Paul, who would eventually become her husband. They now have 3 wonderful children and a big dog. Mrs. Harris went on to earn a Master's of Arts in Writing from Johns Hopkins University and has since returned to teach. In her workshop, she tries to strike a balance between encouraging students in the craft and jokingly telling them to choose literally any other profession under the sun. Her first book, This Boy We Made, a memoir of motherhood, genetics, and facing the unknown, was a finalist for the 2023 Southern Book Award in nonfiction. It was named one of the best memoirs of the year by Vulture and one of the best nonfiction books of 2022 by the Washington Post. Her writing has appeared in the New York Times, Time Magazine, O Magazine, The Atlantic, and the Washington Post. It's my distinct pleasure to welcome back to Bexley High School, Mrs. Taylor Harris.
Good morning. I want to take a moment to dedicate this speech to my grandmother. We call her Betty Lou. She's 91, I think that's right. And she's in the hospital. She's doing okay, but she has probably not been in the hospital since she gave birth to my dad or something. She's just super healthy, and she only drinks hot water, and she likes to eat beets and ice cream. And so as soon as I found out she was in the hospital, I was like, I told you about those beets. I asked my first grader what I should say today, and here's what she gave me in about 3 minutes while she was waiting on the dentist in the chair. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to celebrate your graduation. I grew up going to this high school, and I wanted to come back to celebrate you. You should always try your best, even if you don't do your best. My job is being an author, and even if I only wrote 1 book, that's a work in progress. The way she burned me in that last line and trying to inspire you all is incredible. My daughter is right. I did grow up here. Maryland, then Montrose, middle and high school. I had plenty of those idyllic moments, playing bike tag after school and mat ball during intramurals. I was just telling my 12-year-old how you had to kick the ball just so over your opponent's head and down the locker room stairs in order to get the most runs in. There was meeting at the park in 5th grade to climb big trees and exchange really solid dating advice. Or the time a group of us got caught crossing the street in the middle of the night with TP by a state trooper. What's the matter, officer? Nature called, all of us at once. I also had experiences, some sharp and quick like gut punches, others more subtle and protracted, weathering my confidence over time. Experience that made me feel more like an outsider. Yet this was my home. I was voted onto the homecoming court, captain of the tennis team, class president. By all accounts, I was well liked, or at least highly visible. My older sisters had gone there and made a name for themselves. I was legacy. And yet, I spent many weekends alone, and this part may sound familiar to you all. When, in high school, I organized a Black History Month assembly and announcements, a guy I thought was my friend became annoyed. He said, "Learning about Black history should be optional." This boy's name was Ron DeSantis. I'm kidding. It's still me, guys. Okay. Since I won't be invited back, let me finish up. But imagine, seriously, looking at the face of this kid you've known for years, you've been a passenger in his car, you know his family, and he's saying your history, you are optional, not integral. And because the only way I know to make sense of the world is through words and stories, let me tell you a little bit about my history. My grandmother was raised by her grandmother, Maddie, who'd been born on a plantation. As an adult, Maddie worked in the home of a wealthy white family in Columbus, cleaning silver and more, and raised my grandma in a house on East Long Street. White and Black families both lived near them, with Black families living on the side streets. As a child, my grandmother didn't want for much. You couldn't go downtown and eat in the dining room at Lazarus, she told me, but you could shop there. And there was the time she submitted another person's address in order to attend a white high school across town, one with more classes and resources. Imagine the audacity of wanting more for yourself. But soon someone ratted her out, so she had to leave. Betty went on to have 7 kids, 2 of whom were born in a segregated hospital in Florida. Florida is doing a lot of work in this speech. A doctor from the white hospital could only visit or consult in life-threatening situations. If you haven't, look up the Black maternal mortality rates in the US, not for the 1950s, but for 2022. And join me in reading the masterfully reported book, Under the Skin, The Hidden Toll of Racism on American Lives and on the Health of Our Nation. One of those babies, let's just say the one with the biggest head, was my dad. After graduating from South High School in Columbus, my dad scored a prestigious internship with General Motors in Flint, Michigan, the same Flint you've read about. All he needed was an apartment. Imagine him picking up a newspaper, folding it in half and scanning the ads, the ink rubbing off just a bit on his thumbs. He finds one that looks good and schedules a time to see it, hops into his Pontiac GTO and opens the door to the rental office. But suddenly, poof, the apartment is gone. Now, my dad was a quick study, and he learned at 17 to change his strategy, to pick up the phone and ask, "Do you rent to Black people?" It saved time, and who knows what that sort of thing does to your soul. Daryl married his high school bae, Brenda, my beautiful mother, and they had 3 girls. As luck would have it, I got his head. Parents are dreamers, aren't they? And mine wanted the world for us. And the first step was a top-notch education. You can probably see where this is headed. My mom was in her 30s when she learned that if she called a Bexley realtor on the phone, they'd assume she was white. And if she showed up to look around, they'd assume she was white with a nice tan. But if my dad came with her to sign on the dotted line, poof, the house was no longer for rent. If you haven't yet, pick up a book called The Color of Law, A Forgotten History of How Our Government Segregated America. It should be required reading. My parents found a place to rent. The landlord, Alfred Tibor, was a sculptor who'd survived the Holocaust. His granddaughter, Simone, lived next door and became my first best friend. We spent summers eating Doritos and taking swim lessons at the Bexley pool and watching Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, a movie that has not aged well. We celebrated holidays together, like, bet, let's do Hanukkah at your house and Thanksgiving at mine. I mention this because while these types of friendships are not prescriptive and should never be mislabeled as colorblind, they are rare and they matter. While my grandmother did not grow up in Bexley, she came to several of my grandparents' day celebrations, and I was so proud to show her off to my friends. She never said much about Bexley, only how proud she was of me, until recently when I asked her more about her childhood. And then it was brief. Growing up, the only black people in Bexley, she said, were servants. And they said you had to be careful driving through there. And today I am standing before you, the younger sister of Autumn and Sienna, the daughter of Daryl and Brenda, granddaughter of Betty Lou, and great-great-granddaughter of Maddie. And 22 years after giving my class's commencement speech, I am asking you genuinely, and without assumption, what has changed? Understand, the question is not meant to be rhetorical exactly. It is meant to prod or nudge, to turn your gaze inward and outward and back inward again, to lodge uncomfortably in the back of your mind until it moves to the forefront without permission. And for some of you, I'm asking this question to give you space, to take a deep breath, pull off the mask for a moment, know that I see you. I see you walking out of class with the support of teachers and administrators and allies, and hear me, I'm sorry you had to do that. I'm so dang proud of you, and I'm sorry. There's a reason why Toni Morrison, an Ohio native, said, quote, "The function, the very serious function of racism is distraction. It keeps you from doing your work. It keeps you explaining over and over again your reason for being." You are graduating with the type of education that might allow you to coast through future coursework because it's so rigorous here. And yet, some of you will leave with a lingering ache because there were days you showed up with an easy task, low bar, just to learn. And instead, you were asked again and again to prove your worth. Author Dante Stewart says it this way: when we are faced with so much inhumanity, we need an alternative imagination that accepts our humanity, fights for it, embraces it, and reminds us again and again that life is not just about resisting all of this. It is about creating something different, something better. I know you're thinking, okay, Taylor, where is the hope? Sometimes when I'm serious about something, I can come across as Sarah McLachlan singing on that ASPCA commercial. But I didn't come here just to leave you in a bone-crushing heap of sadness. Those are the types of books I like to read. Because the hope is there. It's not separate from the truth. It's not disentangled from reality. But it's first in the imagining, then the creating of safe and equitable spaces. And I want to just take a moment to recognize some people I met along the way who created safe spaces for me. This is not everyone, but I would like to mention Ms. Mindy Hall, my first grade teacher who saw me and allowed me extra time to write in my journal. Mr. Scott Logston, who shared a love of Donies and popcorn and is the only reason I ever signed up for AP Bio. Coach Jill Welsh, who saw me playing tennis growing up and said, "I want you on my team." Mrs. Vicki Rogers, who I had as a fourth grade teacher when I moved from Maryland to Montrose, which was a big deal back then, and who invited me into her classroom. And the last person I'll mention today is Ms. Joanne Lamuth, who saw something in me and let us watch videos of Billy Joel learning about his creative process, and also told me never again chew watermelon flavored gum in her class. The world is a terrifying and beautiful place. I'll be the first to admit that when I see books being banned, a poem by Amanda Gorman being reshelved, people who have no real concept of MLK beyond the fuzzy caricature invoking his name to justify their own apathy, I think, where can I go that is safe? Where can I take my family? And then I remember, dang, Gina, everything's been touched by colonialism. But slowly, through writers like Danny McLean, I'm learning the answer isn't always to flee. There will be times to transition, yes, to uproot and plant anew in another neighborhood or state or academic institution. But please, get a 20-year head start on me simply by remembering there will also be times to stay put, to look around, to cultivate your imagination for something beyond what this world has offered you. Start to create the world you see in your head. Maybe it's not a sweeping overnight movement for justice and equality. Maybe it's more of a song than a book, more of a book than a protest, more of a protest than a program. Maybe all you know for sure is that you'll eke out a bit of joy here, construct a corner of peace over there, and maybe as you're able, you'll have the presence of mind and capacity to make room for 1 or 2 or 10 more to join you in your new world. And I think it's fair to call that hope. Thank you.
On behalf of the class of 23, we would like to grant you this gift bag, which is made by our environmental club, which is all recycled materials. And now I would like to introduce our decorated choir and its director. This is Amy Blosser and the vocal ensemble. And now they will lead us in the alma mater. You can find the lyrics on the back of your pamphlet.
To alma mater Bexley, to thee our praise we bring, to thee whose hallowed halls we tread, our toast to thee we sing. Though friends and hopes may fade away, our blue and white will live forever. And as the seasons swiftly go, thy name and praise shall ring.
Thank you for that. I would now like to introduce Dr. Robbins for the presentation of diplomas.
Thank you, James. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Jerry Addy. Madison Addy Krasnow. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Bryson Baugh. Quentin Samuel Markman. Jude Patrick Nowlin, Diploma with Honors. Presenting diplomas, Miss Beth Bennett. Ava Jael Foster, Diploma with Honors. Presenting diplomas, Mrs. Amy Blosser. Isaac Ephraim Bernstein. Nina King Stevens. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Chris Bragg. Clifford Archibald Padmore III. Zeke Magistro Polos. Presenting diplomas, Miss Andrea Brown. Beatrice Catherine Meeks. Presenting diplomas, Mr. John Bunker. Catterai Catterden Awoot. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Tony Carfagna. Samuel Allen Mace. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Tom Chrysler. Carter Ross Lavelle. Presenting diplomas, Mrs. Lisa Klepper. Leah Erin Bowman, Diploma with Honors. Daniela Beatrice Curtis. Grant Franklin Davis. Kenneth Preston Morris. Carolyn Emma Reich. Grace Catherine Thrush, Diploma with Honors. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Patrick Cummins. Maya Leila Aframian. Isaac Carl Bonowitz. Alexa Cassidy Brown. Jackson Tanner Browning. Samuel Alexander Grayson, Diploma with Honors. Micah Oliver Thomas Nolan. Josiah Richard Old. Charles Joseph Seck, Diploma with Honors. Jonathan Thomas Tartle. Presenting diplomas, Ms. Sarah Flower. Lou Beck. Presenting diplomas, Mrs. Michelle Friends. Faye Evans Sanfilippo. Karis Melinda Tigner. Presenting diplomas, Ms. Claudia Fugate. Meade McCarthy Gibson, diploma with honors. Talha Khan, certificate of attendance. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Will Gingery. William J. Kaufman. Joshua Michael Cavas. Stephen Jacob Schiff. Blake Thomas Simons. Jonathan George Spees. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Heath Goolsby. Ronan Kevin Morencio. Presenting diplomas, Ms. Jamie Hayes. Riley Grace Barno. Maya Noel Devine Murray, diploma of honors. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Mark Heyman. Carolyn Virginia Isley, diploma with honors. Nat Bela Garshik Cleet, diploma with honors. Quinn Delaney McDermott, diploma with honors. Andrew Caden Solar, diploma with honors. Fiona Eve Sullivan, diploma with honors. Abigail Commentip Thompson, diploma with honors. Presenting diplomas, Ms. Jackie Hillman. Cecil Jet Abbott, diploma with honors. John Patrick Ryan Bridges, diploma with honors.
That's what I wanted to happen. We're losing it.
Annabelle Nicole Brown. Morgan James Elliott, Diploma with Honors. Eliana Jewel Golson, Diploma with Honors. Hayden Sophie Johnson, Diploma with Honors. Scarlett Constance Johnson. Ray Knack, Diploma with Honors. Bridget Eileen O'Reilly, Diploma with Honors. Miles Andrew Smith, Diploma with Honors. Charlotte Marie Norris Turner, Diploma with Honors. Ethan Micah Weiner. Presenting diplomas, Mrs. Nikki Hoke. Nina Sophia Payne. Aiden Marasca Ross. Caroline Rebecca Whitlatch. Presenting diplomas, Ms. Rachel Howland. Claire Marie Dugler. Trenton Allen Eade. Georgia Jane Lyons. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Scott James. Lily Amico Cochran. Grace Linnea Elliott. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Andrew Johnson. Simon Simon Nathan Davis, Diploma with Honors. Caitman Robinson Dunham, Diploma with Honors. Leo Pavel Goldberger. John Benjamin Lang, Diploma with Honors. Mason Solomon Lewis. Matthew Eric Newman, Diploma with Honors. Presenting diplomas, Ms. Stephanie Johnson. Adam Lauren Keels, Diploma with Honors. Presenting diplomas, Mr. David Cozy. Madeline Elizabeth Aup, Diploma with Honors. Josephine Tate Duncan. Olivia Claire Leibarger, Diploma with Honors. Emma Reese Taylor. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Jeff Landis. Andrew Travis Delacruz, Diploma with Honors. Lily Mae Keller. Aaron David Ligator, Diploma with Honors. Presenting diplomas, Mr. David Leland. Morgan Perry Agristi. Kier Stefan Armstrong. Ethan Bergouge, Certificate of Attendance. And we're going to take a second to switch sides. Grayson Smoot Fletcher. Mitchell Watkin Giller, Diploma with Honors. Braxton Payne Johnson. Benjamin Daniel Rosen, Diploma with Honors. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Scott Logston. Lydia Grace Baker. Douglas Frederick Denby. Luke Charles Hill. Gabriel James LaFortune. Madeline Elizabeth Levi, Diploma with Honors. Lota Ludia Pertula, Certificate of Attendance. Amalia May Rainford Drybulvis, Diploma with Honors. Nolan Isaac Rothrock, Diploma with Honors. Maya Jules Zidell. Presenting diplomas, Mrs. Melissa McCreary. Elizabeth Claire Cohen. Luke Nicholas Dunker. Jessica Eileen Host. Madison Helen Lamke, Diploma with Honors. Virginia McClellan Lewis. Molly Frances Odell. Lily Jordan Payne. Jessica Lauren Rucker. Molly Ryan Walsh, Diploma with Honors. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Carlton McGrady. Aaliyah Chanel Agnew. Julius Jules Coleman. Wendy Stein Wasserstrom. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Ken Miller. Hayden Jacob Lugart. Presenting diplomas, Ms. Janet Mulder. Madison Rachel Ingram, Diploma with Honors. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Mike Nolan. Benjamin Bradley Burke. Nora Jane Cahill, Diploma with Honors. Eleanor Marie Heyer. Evelyn Jane Holtzel, Diploma with Honors. Nicole Wen Lin, Diploma with Honors. Emma Magana Trulis, Certificate of Attendance. Kira Joy Divine Murray. Maya Kaylee Nelson, Diploma with Honors. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Jesse Paget. Rami Asher Bandler. Bennett Wiley Blaybaum, Diploma with Honors. Luca Isabel Harold. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Michael Perkins. Alexandra Carolina Aboli. Morgan Michelle Brown. Brendan William Eldridge, Diploma with Honors. Seth Avi Rosenberg.
Another one?
John Arthur Westman. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Todd Phillips. Hassan Sam Al-Hawari. Audrey Catherine Crandall. Miranda Joy Love Liu, Diploma with Honors. Emilio Guerrero Para, Certificate of Attendance. Dominic Julius Goddard. Grace Catherine Jones, Diploma with Honors. Celeste Maria Nunez. Sophia Faith Sheridan. Harper Merritt Tetzlaff. Presenting diplomas, Miss Rebecca Reinhardt. Ryan Jacob Kabler Hall. Jackson Allen Mace. Alexander Fullen Nelson, Diploma with Honors. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Shane Roberts. Jonathan Gabriel Grimm. Jamel Kari Thomas Joyce. Presenting diplomas, Mr. John Robertson. Sabrina Catherine Rose. Presenting diplomas, Dr. Michelle Rogers. Megan Elizabeth Cooper, Diploma with Honors. James Francis McCann, Diploma with Honors. Jillian Chloe Savage. Michaela Michelle Williams. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Kerry Ryan. Nicholas Coomer Minkin, Diploma with Honors. Jacob Misha Rubin. Tate Benjamin Stark. Presenting diplomas, Ms. Katie Sarvis. Kathleen Freed Baldwin, Diploma with Honors. Anna Catherine Hollow, Diploma with Honors. Presenting diplomas, Mr. J. Scott. Spencer Dylan Rubin. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Jake Selker. Austin David Flam, Diploma with Honors. Presenting diplomas, Mr. John Smith. Junior Kofi Enan Sampson. And we'll have Brooke Smith join Mr. Smith. Isabel Grace Smith. Sydney Mackenzie Smith. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Stephen Spangler. Kieran Teresa Mooney. Zoe Francis Wright, Diploma with Honors. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Dave Thompson. Lainey Elizabeth Fleischer. Caroline Calkin. Peyton James Nicewander. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Pepe Trejo. Michael Thomas Brenner. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Mike Vincent. Lillian Sensi Vincent. Presenting diplomas, Mr. Jason Wilcoxon. Maxwell Evan Eskew. Margaret Clara Evans Simonton, Diploma with Honors. Presenting diplomas, Ms. Brooke Wojcik. Lauren Ann Melville. Skylar Wilson. And that concludes the presentation of diplomas. So it is my absolute pleasure to offer a few brief closing remarks to everyone here at the 101st commencement exercise for Bexley High School. To the class of 2023, I extend to you our sincerest congratulations. You are here today because you have met the graduation requirements as set forth by the Bexley City Schools Board of Education, and today, May 28th, is your day. I would like to, if you're in the audience today and are a Bexley alum, we would love for you to please stand at this time. I cherish this honor tradition because Bexley is an amazing place to live and learn, and this rich tradition extends from generation to generation as so many come back. I want to take a moment to thank the many people who have worked tirelessly to make this unique day happen. Let me begin by recognizing the talents and efforts of an extraordinary faculty and staff. They're dedicated professionals who work incredibly hard to help each student reach their potential as learners, citizens, and leaders. They put in long hours and have the highest of standards not only for their students, but for themselves as well. Bexley High School consistently remains one of the top high schools in the country, and one reason is because of the people that work in our school. So thank you to our teachers for your service and commitment to our kids, preparing them for these next steps. And students, yes, thank you. And students, as you remember the knowledge and wisdom these educators have shared with you, please also remember the service and labor they provided you, because service and hard work are attributes and values I know you will take with you as you leave Bexley High School. Now to the people who made it possible for us to create this ceremony. First, I would like to thank Co-Administrator Craig McMillan, our Administrative Assistant Brenda Ferguson, counselors Claudia Fugate, Stephanie Krasnowski, David Leland, and Sarah Rivetta. Thank you. A huge thank you to Brett Santantonio, Bobby Moore, and their maintenance staff who went above and beyond in the setup for today's ceremony. And a very special thank you today to Senior Class Advisor Mike Nolan and his commitment to our graduates, the organization of the ceremony, as well as providing photo documentation of this very special day. Finally, to Mr. Brad Pettit, our Director of Technology, and Mrs. Carol Taylor, our Public Information Officer, who are assisting in providing video access for those who weren't able to celebrate in person with us today. I certainly want to acknowledge and thank the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jason Fine, Bexley City Schools Board of Education members, President Alicia Mitchell, Vice President Victoria Powers, as well as board members Dr. Jonathan Baker and Mrs. Joanne Pickrell here for their continued support of our work at Bexley High School. Lastly, I'd like to thank the Bexley Education Foundation for their continued generous support of our work as well. And finally, to our commencement speaker, Ms. Taylor Harris, thank you so very much for returning to Bexley High School today. Your message was inspiring, thought-provoking, and poignant, and one I know our graduates will take with them as they move on to whatever is next for them. And Taylor, it is not lost on me that your graduation in 2001, where you also spoke, was my very first graduation ceremony here in Bexley. We have most certainly come full circle, and what a treat it is for you to be here again today. Thank you. In class of 2023, our most sincere wish for each of you is for you to embrace all the new opportunities awaiting you. Do not shy away from new challenges or change, all the while appreciating and celebrating your uniqueness. No one can take this away. And as Zoe reminded us, Bexley at its heart is a community. Take this sense of community with you no matter where you are going. And as James reminded us, it's not always about what you learn, but rather the people you learn with and from. So class of 2023, you are our future, and we could not be proud of you. It is my honor and privilege to serve as your principal. And now comes the moment you've been waiting for, the turning of the tassel. This gesture symbolizes the transition from a secondary student to a high school graduate. So seniors, I ask that at this time, please stand. And because you have met the graduation requirements as set forth by the Bexley City Schools Board of Education, you may now move your tassels. Dr. Fine, members of the Board of Education, Dr. Fine, members of the Board of Education, staff, parents, and guests, I am proud to introduce to you the Bexley High School graduation class of 2023. Congratulations. And families and guests, thank you very much for being here today. And best of luck in finding your grad. Have a wonderful day.